The Mediterranean basin is one of the planet's most biologically rich and complex regions. The crossroads of Europe, Asia, and Africa is considered to be one of Earth's biodiversity hotspots. A vast number of both animal and plant species, unique to the region, live in its various habitats. The Mediterranean basin is located in one of the planet's temperate zones. The subtropical climate makes it cold and wet here in winter, hot and dry in summer, and mild and rainy in autumn and spring. Occupied by human beings for more than 8,000 years, the Mediterranean basin has experienced dramatic changes to its forest and woodland areas. But nevertheless, they are still among the most diverse on the planet. From marshlands to high mountain ranges, from forests of holm and cork oaks to oak and pine forests high up in the mountains. All of them are home to thousands of animal and plant species whose paths cross on their adventures through life. And each one of them has a story to tell. Stories of the Mediterranean forest. The Armored Warrior. Mediterranean forests are the perfect habitat for a mysterious animal. It has poor eyesight, but its sensitive sense of smell and extraordinary hearing are perfect for living in the forest. This animal is the wild boar. Boars do not show their faces easily. They always look for bushes to hide from prying eyes. Their body is covered with large and long bristles in shades of brown or blackish, which are perfect to go unnoticed among the vegetation surrounding them. Boars are mammals that easily adapt to any ecosystem. They only need thick vegetation for camouflage and enough food and water. Water not only for drinking, but also for bathing. Boars love to bathe. And the more mud there is, the better. And after a bath, nothing gives them more pleasure than to scratch their whole body against a tree with bark as rough as possible. Their thick necks, short legs, and excellent sense of smell enable them to detect their food underground. Truffles, acorns, roots, insects, and small critters are their favorite food. And they have an insatiable appetite. Their extremely strong and resistant morphology makes them the armored warrior of the forest. When they're young, their mother takes care of them, protecting them and keeping them well hidden. Longitudinal stripes that run through their body at an early age allow them to be perfectly camouflaged among the vegetation. However, despite this excellent camouflage, they must always beware of the dangers of the forest, and not all survive. Squeakers are the perfect food for eagles, wolves, and foxes. The protagonists of our story are two brothers, two young boars living in the Mediterranean forest in southern Europe. They are the only ones that have managed to survive from this year's litter. But now, being barely over 6 months old, they enjoy a quiet and peaceful life, along with other animal species that share their environment. With such a voracious appetite, our boars weigh almost 20 kilos. And the more they grow, the fewer enemies they have. At this size, only wolves are capable of taking them on. But fortunately for these young boars, wolves do not visit this quiet corner of the forest. In late September, we can begin to sense the arrival of autumn. Many trees and bushes change the color of their leaves. The forest is dyed red and yellow. The fruits begin to ripen. With such an abundance of food, there is no time to waste. They have to eat as much as possible in order to accumulate enough energy to get through the cold winter. At this time of year, the bucks sense that the does are ready for breeding. The rut has started. The frantic comings and goings of the males attracts the attention of one of the young boars, who has never seen them so unsettled. As the sun sets, our protagonists begin to feel more comfortable. They prefer night to day, even though these are becoming colder. The bellowing of the deer resounds in the dark. Adult males emit characteristic guttural sounds, intended to attract females and show their strength and superiority over the other deer. The large males are at their peak. They are strong and have been waiting for this moment all year. The does, on the other hand, are well nourished and ready to ovulate. The tension rises, and it is now butting heads, antlers crashing, that resonate in the dark. The victors, the strongest specimens, will mate with a greater number of females. Nothing stops the fight, not even the fog gradually invading the forest and its inhabitants. After an exhausting night, at the crack of dawn the fight ceases, and one of the males retreats, exhausted. It seems we have a winner. The fog slowly lifts, revealing the territory conquered by the new dominant male. His work is now focused on bringing together the group of females that it has taken him so much effort to conquer. He is very watchful because he does not want any to drift off. Some males can gather harems of up to 50 females. The buck notes that one of the does is moving too far away from the group. He will not allow this. He stands in the way and forces her to return to the harem. The dethroned buck withdraws, but not before taking one last look at his old territory and his lost harem. Although the struggles among males are not bloody, they can reach extreme weakening after several days of continuous fighting, and this male is exhausted. The sun sets, and tranquility reigns in the Mediterranean forest. A small spring is the meeting place to stop and relax for a while. And this is the ideal time for small forest birds to drink and wash. black vultures and griffon vultures begin to arrive from all around. And that can only mean one thing: death hovers nearby. The defeated buck is dead. He had endured many days without eating and could not overcome the depletion of several days of heavy fighting. The weak die, and vultures are responsible for removing their remains. Vultures hover near the body, but they don't eat it. They seem to be having a wake for the body of the deceased warrior. Even 2 young imperial eagles join the wake. Although they don't dare to move against the dead buck's body, the large number of vultures and their inexperience makes them think twice. And they end up leaving the place, as they can't compete against this great army. The afternoon is coming to an end, and the vultures that are perched on the ground need to find a safe place to spend the night, because on the ground they may be easy prey for some opportunist passing by. Everyone wants to get a place in the front row for tomorrow's feast. The battle for the best places is ruthless. In the waning daylight, the vultures are now safe in the treetops, where they prepare to spend the night. But tonight will be different. The tranquility of this corner of the forest is about to be broken. tension permeates the atmosphere. The deer perceive danger, and this is not because of the eagle owl who has just hunted a distracted rabbit. This is a much greater fear, an ancestral fear. The deer run in terror. What is making them run away? Here is the answer. A wolf pack has just reached their territory. From this moment on, the peace is over. Not only for the deer, but for all the inhabitants of this corner of the forest, including our two protagonists. For now, the wolves are busy scouting their new territory. Fortunately, their hunger has been sated, so no hunting will take place tonight. At the crack of dawn, the vultures do their job. And what they do best is clear the field of dead bodies and carrion, thus preventing the transmission of diseases to other inhabitants of this ecosystem. The vultures fight each other for a morsel of flesh. Their life is at risk. Hunger turns them into aggressive competitors. The first vultures that started eating the deer, now with a full crop, give way to new diners. They are now engaged in cleaning and arranging their feathers. Keeping their feathers in good condition is critical to their survival. But there is one part of their body that they can't reach with their beak. And for this, they need to help each other. While some relax and enjoy preening, others arrive and begin to fight for a good place to be able to eat as much carrion as possible. However, not all those coming to the banquet are vultures. From the air, this imperial eagle observes the fierce fights that occur on the ground. And before going down to eat, it chooses to assess the situation. With a weight of just over 3 kilos, it must face aggressive vultures that can triple its weight. That's a very unequal fight, and it decides to look for food elsewhere. All the action taking place around the body also attracts a golden eagle. Eagles, which are formidable hunters, don't look down upon eating carrion, as these are proteins that are easy to obtain with minimal energy expenditure. Golden eagles can weigh up to 6 kilos, doubling the weight of imperial eagles, and their tough hunting nature allows them to face down vultures for a morsel of meat. The golden eagle sees an opportunity and goes for it. But it doesn't go for the carrion. If there were few opponents, it wouldn't hesitate to go down and fight them. But the large number of vultures and the aggressiveness caused by their hunger makes it decide not to go down, as it doesn't want to risk suffering any injuries. It settles for taking advantage of some chunks of meat that have been scattered in the vicinity of the corpse. With such outrageous neighbors, the golden eagle takes its food and decides to look for a quieter place to eat without so much noise. Autumn continues to advance inexorably. Leaves fall, leaving bare deciduous trees. From the protective forest where our boars hid, only leafless trees and bushes remain, and hiding becomes quite a challenge. And now, more than ever, they need to hide from predators. Wolves are nearby. In the distance, at the top of the mountain, a sharp sound reverberates in the steep crags. That is the realm of the Iberian ibex. 2 large males are measuring their strength. These fights establish a strong hierarchy where dominant individuals displace the weaker, which will not be able to mate. The winner, which is the strongest male, will be responsible for mating with the females and passing on its genes to the next generation. The rest of the herd rests peacefully on the top of the rocks, which is where they feel safer. In this period, we find males and females together. During the rest of the year, they remain apart. But during the month of November, in the breeding season, they get together again. The Iberian ibex likes to eat the moss and lichen on the rocks, but it also has a varied diet. And one of the things it likes best is the fresh grass of high mountain pastures. When they are off their rocky vantage points, they have to remain together because this is where they are most exposed to predators. A young female is moving too far away from the group. She's being very imprudent, because you never know where the danger may appear. This pleasant autumn evening is coming to an end. The goat herd starts to go back up to its impregnable stone fortress. The young female doesn't maintain eye contact with the group and doesn't realize that she's moving away as she remains focused on eating. The steep crag will keep them safe. No predator can surprise them there in the darkness of the night. The dominant males check whether the females are sexually active by standing behind them and flicking their tongues. At the same time, they raise their tails, leaving the anal gland free to better disseminate and transmit their pheromones to the females, indicating that they are ready. But it seems that the females are not ready yet. Only the victorious males will mate with the females. However, this inexperienced young male tries to seduce a female insistently. He doesn't seem to understand that it's not time, nor is he the chosen one, but he continues to insist, until he is rejected decisively. When the sun goes down and the moon appears, many of the forest inhabitants begin their search for food. They all need to eat to survive. So tonight, as every night, Some will eat, and others will be eaten. One of the boars hears footsteps nearby. The young Iberian ibex that became separated from its herd is the one that scared our boar. It became dark when she was near the forest, and she's now seeking refuge in the undergrowth. To recover from the shock, there is nothing better than taking a nice, relaxing bath. But now, a hidden pair of eyes are watching our boar. And this time, it is not the young female ibex. With a single glance from the alpha male, the wolves know exactly what to do and prepare to begin the hunt. They move forward without making any noise. They have to take advantage that the boar has not seen them yet. But our hero sees a silhouette backlit by moonlight. The wolves will have dinner tonight. Their role in the ecosystems is critical as they control the population of large herbivores. Without them, the deer, roe deer, goats or boars would ruin the natural balance of the forest. But our boar is alive. With whom did the wolves sate their hunger? Whilst chasing our young protagonist, the wolves came across the young Iberian ibex, who had sought refuge in the undergrowth rather than climbing up the crags. Days pass, and the weather changes rapidly. The cold is felt with the appearance of the first snow. Winter is about to arrive, and with it comes bad news. One of the two brothers is dead. Diseases can put an end to the life of any animal, and our young boar has succumbed to tuberculosis, a disease that affects a large number of wild animals. However, the death of a few becomes the life of others, because nothing is wasted in the Mediterranean forest. A red kite has found the corpse and wants to sate his hunger with it. He's nervous. Even a bird of prey can fall prey to other predators, and before lowering his head to eat, he must be very sure that no other dangers lurk on the ground. This small blue tit is making the red kite nervous. The blue tit's diet consists mainly of insects and spiders. However, during autumn and winter, he also has to eat seeds and fruits, where he gets the energy required by his metabolism. Once the blue tit leaves, the red kite feels more secure and decides to eat. He's hungry, as he has just arrived from northern Europe. The cold there is too intense, and they prefer to spend winters in the south. The Mediterranean forest has a milder climate. Red kites won't be the only ones to take advantage of the opportunities offered by a corpse. It's energy and very cheap to get. During the night, new diners flock to the corpse. Wolves give good account of the dead boar. They eat until their hunger has been sated. And with a full belly, they won't need to hunt for a few days. Foxes arrive later in the evening. Nobody is willing to waste a good portion of meat. At the crack of dawn, there is little left of the unfortunate boar. The vultures are waiting for the fox to finish eating. They know how to patiently wait their turn. Only one of the boars remains alive. He's been lucky so far. While the vultures finish up the few remains of the corpse of his brother, our survivor seeks refuge in the dense forest, like when he was small. Many die along the way, and only a few reach adulthood. They all struggle to survive. They will eat or be eaten, but only the strongest and fittest will survive. That is the rule of life. Our boar will fight with all his strength. It's written in his genes. However, the toughest test is yet to be overcome: the harsh winter. He has the advantage that he is well adapted to this ecosystem. His thick skin will protect him, and his great sense of smell will help him find the necessary food. He is a mighty warrior. He is the armored warrior of the forest.